Well, it is the greatest story never told. On July 30th, 1945, in the final days of World War II, the USS Indianapolis was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. She sank in 12 minutes here in the deepest part of the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Guam and the Philippines. 1,200 sailors went into shark-infested waters. Almost 5 days later, only 300 made it out alive. It was the greatest disaster in the history of the United States Navy and the worst shark attack of all time. Primetime's Jeff Atkinson is joining me now. And Jeff, this is a remarkable story, but it's so seldom told.
In fact, Maureen, the sinking itself was kept secret from the world for more than 2 weeks until Japan surrendered. And yet the Indianapolis played a crucial part in bringing about the surrender, ending World War II. Tonight, on the 65th anniversary of the sinking of the Indianapolis, survivor stories and a local woman who's committed to keeping this largely forgotten tale alive. It's our cover story tonight. They're now in their 80s and 90s, and they come every 5 years to Indianapolis, the city that gave their ship its name and the place where their crew is remembered in a memorial.
These are heroes. These are heroes that have gone through just tremendous tragedy.
Fewer than 60 still alive today, survivors of a Japanese torpedo attack, and perhaps more miraculous, 4 days in shark-infested waters. Maurice Bell of Mobile, Alabama was 20 at the time.
And all of a sudden somebody let out the awfulest scream you ever heard. And I've turned and looked just in time to see him go straight down.
July 1945, the Portland-class heavy cruiser had just delivered components for the atomic bomb, later would be dropped on Hiroshima. They were headed home when it was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine. Of the nearly 1,200 on board, 300 were killed instantly. 900 survived. 5 days later, when rescued, just 320 were still living. More killed by sharks and dehydration than the Japanese.
The fact that those heroes and brave sailors lost their lives for me and you.
30 years ago, Mary Brady of Salisbury discovered a book in the library about the Indianapolis, and its rich story gripped her. She began writing the few survivors, the ones who lived in North Carolina, with one goal in mind, just to say thank you.
They just had their rank in their hometown. And yet those letters were delivered. Yeah, how about that?
She's since misplaced the letters, but this voracious reader smiles when she thinks about the family she's encouraged and the material she's told them about where their loved one is mentioned.
Sometimes the wives wrote me, or the children, because maybe the father had passed on. But they were just amazed that they'd made a movie or a book, and I was real proud to tell them how to get a book.
Mary Brady takes great pride in helping keep the memory of the Indianapolis alive. It was almost by accident, though, that she got involved. While working as a librarian at Granite Quarry Elementary School in Rowan County, she was searching for stories to find to get little boys to read. They, like all of us, once we hear about it, get fascinated with the story of the Indianapolis.
Incredible that they were out there in those waters. Thank you for sharing that story, and thanks to our producer, Zach Smith, for making sure we got that out there tonight.